Hello. Today we're going to do a quick review of a new product from Zero Chroma. I originally started using Zero Chroma a couple years back ago with my iPad Mini, and I've had great success with their cases, as far as the multiple angles and the 360s that you can do, and just really do like the product. And this is something that they announced a while ago. I believe it's available for pre-order right now on their website, as a matter of fact. And it was rated best of show from iLounge.com for CES 2015. This is called the Keyboard Slide-Lid Folio-Slide 360 stand from Zero Chroma. This is compatible with the iPad Air or the iPad Air 2. Now, I'm not a big fan of cases with keyboards attached to them, and usually because of the bulk, the added thickness, especially when you're talking about something like the iPad Air 2. It is so thin, and to put a case on it to do the 360s and to stand it up is fine, but to add extra bulk with a keyboard, I'm not usually a big fan of. The Zero Chroma also makes the slide, and the slide by itself actually is just a cover with a magnet to turn the iPad on and off. Zero Chroma claims that the keyboard is no more than 3 millimeters thicker than the normal side, which is just a really thin cover to protect and cover the screen of your iPad. So it really intrigued me. So I had to pick one up and I actually go about looking at it. So this is the packaging. Comes nicely packaged. Very nice sturdy box actually. In the store you can actually open it up, and it gives you a description of the different angles that the 360 explains the 360s and the mounts. Gives you more descriptions of how it goes together, the natural fill keyboard, micro USB charging port, soft microfiber, texture, white clean exterior. They claim 100-day standby and 60 hours of uninterrupted typing on a single charge, which I don't know if that's really good or not, because I'm not into the whole Bluetooth keyboard thing before, as I mentioned, because of the thickness. But I've with iOS 9 coming out and supporting much more of the standard Mac keys on an iPad, it is something I could see myself using. And I've looked at several keyboards, and this one seemed to have the best options. Also, on the inside of the box here, it describes the side mounts. You have the mount that attaches to the wall. You have the mount that attaches to the headrest of your car. That you can slide your iPad in, and maybe your kids will sit in the back seat and watch a movie while you're driving the front seat, and they'll have their own headset. Maybe you put a splitter on there so they're both watching the same thing. The slide is very easy to change from one to another. As a matter of fact, I did pick up, out of curiosity, the actual headset rest and the wall mount, and I'll try this later. There's already a review out there. Actually, there's quite a few reviews out there in regards to this already, and you can pick this up as an accessory to your slide or to the keyboard slide. So I'm not going to touch a lot on this. I'm not going to open it up and do an unboxing, but the keyboard I definitely will do. I wasn't able to find any reviews out there right now, so I figured I'd release one. It comes nicely wrapped, as you see, in a nice cellophane protecting the keyboard. and you have your standard 360 if you're used to Zero Chroma, your standard type of adjustable 360 turn to set the iPad at many different angles, and that just simply tucks back away. Wide open ports for charging and the speaker, your volume, your camera, your mics, a little button for the power button here. You got your headphone jack, and you'll notice the thickness of this even wrapped right now. It just looks like a normal case. Actually, you wouldn't expect this. You wouldn't expect a keyboard to be in there, but surprise, there's the keyboard in there. So how's it fit with the iPad Air 2 or the iPad Air? Well, we'll find out in a second. Mine is restoring from a backup. I just bought it, so I will put it on though, and don't know if I'll be able to pair it up right now, but I'll put it on and we'll see how it fits. Inside gives you a nice little description of I'm not going to bother reading the letter. It also just shows you how many angles you can get if you flip the clip this way or flip the stand this way. Get a little closer up on that. So there's your multiple angles. I'll go slow if you want to read the little letter it comes with. There you go. And of course, your standard slide, the keyboard actually just slides out like so. So we'll set this aside right now. Also comes inside the packaging is your quick getting started instructions, which tells you how to prepare your device for pairing, tells you how to turn it off or put it to sleep, pairing with the keyboard and the function keys and turning it on. So won't be able to do that right now since my iPad is restoring as I mentioned. And also you have a decent length micro USB cable here for charging it as well. And to make a keyboard this thin, I'd say this is probably 3 foot. Yeah, it's about 3 foot micro USB cable. Seems to be well-made quality. And to get a keyboard that thin, one of the things they had to do was be creative on that charging port. Let's go ahead and set this box aside. So, we'll actually pull this out here real quick. This is just a cardboard insert. Set that aside as well. And you got your keyboard in this nice cellophane wrap. We can just simply unwrap that like so. And pull the keyboard out. And there you have it. I'll wrap that back up for later. Put it back in the box. So this is your keyboard, and it is exceptionally thin, as you can tell. Much thinner than even I expected. As I mentioned, creativity with that charge port. There's the charge port at an angle. That's being creative. This very well could be of a single cell lithium polymer or lithium ion battery, which I can see where it would get plenty of runtime. It's got a nice feel to it. The felt they were talking about, this is very comfortable. It has all your basic Mac keys expected, your function, control, alt, option, and command. Even your page up, page down arrows, as well as your brightness, displays, let me see, keyboard, rewind, zoom, pause, play, fast forward, volume mute, volume up, volume down, backspace, and lock. So a very, very, very well laid out functional keyboard that will definitely support iOS 9. Your charging port is simply, as I mentioned, on that angle. micro USB, just simply plugs in like so. Now during the charge process, there's a little LED here that will actually turn red right above, right in between the 0 and the minus key, and then I believe it changes green when it's actually fully charged. So I don't have a local plug or a battery available right now, but it is fully charged at this point, so we'll set the cable aside. Now the big question is, how much space does this really take up? Well, Zero Chroma does have all the dimensions listed on the website, of course, and we're going to do this in standard millimeter actually. Zero that up. So here's a very thin iPad 2, and as Apple mentioned, mine comes in at 6.8 millimeters thick, and that's because I have a ZAG glass screen protector on this iPad Air 2, so it's slightly thicker than Apple's dimensions. Inserting the iPad 2 into the Zero Chroma case. This is a really nice rubber texture, by the way. It's got some good grip. It feels very durable, just like the older cases. I choose to line up the speaker ports as being a direction, so I know where I'm actually, so I know I'm inserting the case in the right direction. We'll start off with the power and volume, since there are actually open ports, and simply work my way around. And it seems to be very nicely easy to insert, and no problems with the glass screen protector. It didn't take the glass and lift it or anything like that, and it fits on there very nicely, and it still maintains most of its nice thin due to the design of their 360 bracket and stand. I really do like that, and of course the multiple angles you get from something like this. One of the very few stands that I know of that will stand in an iPad straight up and down, which is great if you choose to. But be careful, because you can easily tip the balance if you stand straight up and down. I always leave it at a slight angle, but you have many different angles here. As you get lower to the laying it down flat, it actually, you'll feel a little click, because the weight of the iPad is now getting heavier towards gravity pulling it down. These two little clicks in there are preset little clicks, so that way the iPad doesn't fall all the way down, and you can still have it at that nice angle. Now, if you're choosing to type on the iPad at this angle, you very well may, easily push on it too much, and it may, if you're a hard typer, push it down. But it is easily rectified too. All you have to do is turn it around this way and use it this way as well. It'll take plenty of pressure. Very stable, very not bad at all. And of course, you have your landscape and your portrait standing as well. So Zero Chroma did an excellent design on this, as I expected. The biggest question is, of course, in my mind, how much thicker are we talking here when it comes to that keyboard? So I'm up about 12 millimeters thick here. I'm not including the slight lift for the bracket. One is my caliber doesn't go back that far. Okay, so maybe 13 and a half. And so the biggest question is back to that keyboard again. So let's go ahead and slide that keyboard like it's meant to be slid. It is very simple. You have a groove here, one end open. You simply take the one side of the keyboard and slide it in place. That's why they call it the slide, and that's how it works. And there you go. Still has considerably thin, and then I do have to say I like it. total thickness, I think we came up originally with 14, so now we're at 15, 16, 17. Exactly 3 millimeters thicker than what I measured without it. So the standard slide wouldn't have that 3 millimeters, but 3 millimeters for a fully functional keyboard, Bluetooth like this, rechargeable, that's impressive. Really it is. You can choose to leave the keyboard attached, of course, to the iPad while you're typing, and also being Bluetooth, you do have the option to slide it off and set it back a little further. I'm sliding the wrong direction. There we go. So you can set your iPad back further if you want to, and still have a nice clean keyboard to type on, and it really does. It feels good. I like the feel of the keyboard, really. I don't see this being any different from maybe the size of a MacBook Air keyboard. I'm going to take a total guess at that, but that's what it reminds me of, as a matter of fact. It is very light. There's not much weight to it at all. It feels sturdy, so I'm not worried about bending it the wrong way. The keys do not touch the screen of my iPad at all. You can see it's got a lift here. It's cut, and it's got a little lift rim that goes around that lift here, and this lift here, which is not lifted on the space bar because they don't want to interfere with you hitting the space bar, but the lift here and here does stop the keys from touching the iPad screen and scratching it, even with the ZAG glass screen protector on there. It has no problems. It's not hitting the glass at all, and very, very, very nice sealed kind of closing mechanism there. I see this being a favorite of mine, actually. All your ports, like I mentioned, are fully open. Your speakers are open. Your lightning port is open. Depending on whether you have the iPad Air 1 or Air 2, this works with both. The holes for the microphones for the iPad Air 1 are cut out, as well as the headphone jack. They cut out the open port here for the volume rocker, so it will work with the Air 1 or the Air 2. The power button is actually slightly raised part of the case, so it's easier to turn on and off, so you're not actually trying to put your finger in a little cutout. And as you see with the Air 2, it's got a wider cutout for the camera, for the microphone here and the microphone here. The dual microphones, of course, giving it noise canceling ability. This is the same concept with the Air 1 as well, but the mics are in different locations. So this keyboard, this slide keyboard from Zero Chroma will fit either your iPad Air 1 or your iPad Air 2, either one. So let's go ahead and flip this around a little bit so I can get a nicer angle on that, and you can see, of course, I don't have anything set up on here. Like I said, it's in the middle of restoring from backup, so it's going to ask me for passwords right now, so that's not going to happen. Sorry. But I don't see pairing being an issue. If it is, I'll put it in the description. But the instructions seem very, very straightforward and very simple. And like pairing most Bluetooth devices, you know, to turn it on, throw a switch, or hold a button down or something like that for a couple of seconds. It'll probably blink. You find it in your Bluetooth settings and Discovery, and there you go, you're paired. As a matter of fact, you know what? Just to be fully thorough with this review, excuse me, let's go ahead and pull those instructions out again real quick here. Okay. Now I can't get the box open. There we go. So we'll go ahead and pull those instructions out. And you know, I have an iPad mini here, which is not being restored at this moment. So we'll take this iPad mini, and we'll actually use the let me slide mine away for the time being. And of course, it's a Bluetooth keyboard, so this has the ability to work with any Bluetooth compliant device. So it says turn on. Press and hold power button until the light turns green. Okay. There's my green light. It came on. Perfect. Step 2. Prepare the device for pairing. Open Settings, General, Bluetooth on. Step 3. Pair with keyboard. Simultaneously press function and Bluetooth key. So function and Bluetooth key, which is actually C. On C, you'll see a Bluetooth icon. Function, of course, being your standard function on most Macs, and Bluetooth key. You'll notice that it turned off because it didn't pair with anything, and it didn't detect anything, and it's not in use. So it does have a good power saving features, which I'm glad to see. But of course, I'd expect it to stay on longer once I have it actually paired with something. So let's go ahead and get this set up and ready. Again, hold down power button until the light turns green. Oops. It flashed. Maybe I think it went in standby. Okay. And now I have keyboard that shows up on my iPad here, iPad mini. So I went ahead and selected the keyboard after hitting the function and the Bluetooth key. The blue LED blinked briefly until the blue light blinks. Pairing time 2.5 minutes. Select Bluetooth keyboard 3.0 on device. Press and hold power button. Okay, so turn off and sleep is press and hold power button until the light blinks 4 times. Keyboard sleeps after 10 minutes if unused. Press any key to awake. Good to know. Okay, so we did lose the keyboard here. Is there a chance I didn't hold it down long enough? Okay, now I see Bluetooth 3.0 keyboard. Okay, so let me go ahead and select that. Pairing unsuccessful. Let's try it again. I didn't see the full name of the keyboard last time. Simultaneously press function and Bluetooth key until the light blinks blue. Bluetooth 3.0 keyboard is turned on and in range and ready to use. Well, yes, it is, as a matter of fact. Should be. Or did it turn off on me again? Press and hold. There we go. I turned it on, hit the function Bluetooth key, selected the keyboard, and it says connected. So, I believe we are successfully connected here now. Let's run a quick test here, and you'll notice I don't see a keyboard here when I pull this up, which is very interesting. So, hello. Oops. I'm typing at an angle here. It is very difficult to type it at an angle, honestly. So, but the keys feel nice, and let's try some functions here. Let's turn down my brightness, turn up my brightness, and now this is with iOS 8. And it still seems to, the functions still seem to work with iOS 8. Let's try this. I can bring up my soft keyboard, take away my soft keyboard. What's this here? Screenshot. Ah, okay. This is, oh, yep, it is. Okay. So this apparently is my, let's get out of here, Spotlight search for function 5. Function 6 looks like it would launch the web browser. Maybe this is one of the things that isn't quite active yet, which may be in iOS 9. Let's go ahead and do play. Start using from the last location. Sure, it's using iTunes Radio. So let's play a song here. Let's turn it up. Function plus. Let's mute it. Unmute. Turn it down. I'm actually liking this very much. Pause it. Play it. Forward the song. Which seems to work really good. Let me see here. So if we do page down, nope, not yet. So some of the scroll up, scroll down, page down aren't active yet, but I think these are to come in iOS 9 as well. And then we also have, let's go ahead and stop this. We also have backspace, which is locking it. And then I can actually tap the keyboard, which unlocks it. Now, I believe, at the same time, if I had a timeout or instant lock on my iPad, that when I unlock it, it would prompt me for my password right away. So this seems to work very good. Let me see here. Am I still in use? Let's see here. Yeah, it's still connected. So hold the key down for 4 seconds, and it blinks 4 times. And now we're in standby mode, which is the 100-hour standby mode that I claimed, which is very good. And then to turn it back on, I simply hit the button, hold it down for a couple of seconds, the green light comes on, and it automatically pairs back up with the iPad that you had it paired up with. So that's really, really nice, actually. I'm enjoying this. I can see this being very useful, especially the size of it and the slimness and the weight of it is just great. So let's go ahead and put this back into standby. Actually, this will be going on my iPad Air, so I'm going to forget this device for right now before I forget that I had it hooked up to my iPad Mini. And once my iPad Air is done restoring, we can simply I'll simply go through the pairing processes again with the getting started instructions that come with the keyboard, and we'll be off. So for right now, while it's restoring, I'm going to keep it put together and use the keyboard as a way to protect my screen, and set this aside while it's finishing restoring. So that is my review, or the quick unboxing demonstration showing, or whatever you want to call it, of the Zero Chroma Keyboard Slide-Lid 360 stand Folio-Slide. Very impressive, if you ask me. A 3mm stick, you can't go wrong. And remember, you have other functions with this as well. I believe the retail for this keyboard is $99, and that's not just the keyboard. I was kind of under the impression on the website that $99 was just the keyboard, and you had to buy a Folio-Slide to use the keyboard with it. Imagine my surprise when I saw it actually came with the housing, the stand and everything, and the keyboard together for $99. I thought that was definitely worth the deal. Some may think it's a little expensive, but go ahead and price other Bluetooth keyboards out there right now and see how much battery time you get out of them, how much extra weight they are, and how much thicker they are, and you tell me which one you would rather go with or prefer. So hope you enjoyed watching my little review. It is compatible with the iPad Air and the iPad Air 2. You can pre-order it right now from Zero Chroma's website at ZeroChroma.com, and I'll put a link in the description for you as well. It does come with a 1-year warranty, and of course, depending on what store you buy from, you have the option to extend your warranties or what have you, or depending on what credit card you use, it could automatically extend your warranty a year. Keep that in mind as well. Seem to have gotten a lot of awards for 2014 as well as 2015. All the rewards seem to be from iLounge. I'm not associated with anybody, so of course I'm not going to give it any awards except for my 10-star rating. It seems to be compliant with the FCC as well, for which I hope so, being a Bluetooth wireless communication device. I think I'm really going to enjoy this. I'm really shocked and surprised on how nice that fits and how thin it is. And I think this will complete my iPad Air, and most likely will end up selling my iPad Mini at this point, because I don't see a need having it. And some of the other Bluetooth keyboards I've picked up over time, don't see a need for those anymore. I never used them anyway. This one, being the slide and the cover to my screen as well, I see myself using this more often because it is right in front of me. It's always there. Just like the actual slide, you can use this if you're sitting it on your lap. What should I say? You can use it like this as well. I don't know if it's recommended to use it this way and put the keys on your legs, or if it's recommended to reverse it. Maybe it's a preference and use it this way, but this way it does push down some of the it looks like the 4, 5, and 6 key. Well, that also depends on the angle you put it at. You can keep it off the keys if you put it at a higher angle. If you put it at a lower angle, you can probably keep it to the point where it's off the keys as well, like in between the keys. So I know I have a tendency to, with the other Folio-Slide, I had a tendency to rest it in between my legs and use this, the case to put in between the legs like this, so I didn't have to raise my knees or anything like that. It provided a platform for the stand. So I'll probably figure out the best way to do that as well with this also. But there it is. I do like it, and I hope you liked it too. Thanks for watching.